Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at Hasbro's Power Rangers Lightning Collection X Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I guess I said that wrong, but either way, Morphed Shredder, which is Green Ranger and Shredder mushed together. I don't understand this whole crossover thing at all, but we did get a really cool design out of it. I didn't care at all about the turtles in the Power Ranger outfits. I think that looks goofy as hell. However, this is a very nice design, and it looked like Hasbro did a really good job with the release. So I figured I'd go ahead and review it for you guys. Let's go ahead and get into it. This guy stands just about 18 centimeters to the very top of his helmet. That's going to make him roughly 7 inches, a little bit over that. Here he is up against Darwin. There's some actual size to this guy, and I like it. He is meaty, powerful looking. I think that is awesome. And there's a whole lot that's really good going on here, but we'll get to that in a second. First, we have to do a quick question of the day. How do you feel about this crossover, Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles? To me, none of it really worked. I guess there was one of Jason David Frank or Tommy as a foot soldier. I didn't get it. I guess that's okay because it's just like a ninja costume, but the rest of it all just looked so goofy to me other than this one. And so that's why I got it. Yeah, the Street Fighter crossover, half good at least so far. Ryu and Chun-Li. Chun-Li will be reviewed soon. The other two look kind of weird to me, so I don't know about these crossovers, but I like the idea. I like them in theory, so I say keep doing it, Hasbro. And this figure is nice. Aesthetically speaking, it's really good. Is it perfect? No, there are some issues, and I'll talk about them, but it is good. Granted, it's a $35 figure. I think it was 35 bucks. But Marvel Legends, some of them are getting pretty close to 35 bucks. And this guy has some nice accessories. Not a ton, but enough. So let's dive into the aesthetic. I have to say the gold on the armor looks really nice. It's not crazy shiny, but it's pretty shiny, and it has some texture to make the light pop off of it just a little bit more. So I like that. And down here on the shins as well, it actually looks like it might be painted. These parts might all be painted, even though they are separate molded plastic. There might be paint on there. I'm not sure, but I'm thinking that because the knee pads, which are clearly not painted, don't look anywhere near as good. They look terrible, in fact. Why they did that, I don't know. The gold everywhere is one color, except for the knee pads. Looks like trash right there. That's a super annoying thing. But the rest of the gold, I believe it's painted. It is very shiny. It looks wonderful. The silver on the helmet, not painted, but still fairly shiny. Looks good. It's nice and clean. All the line work is really good. The eyes on the helmet and the eyes on the face, they look nice. The red gem on the crest right there with the gold around it, that looks really good. It's very, very well done. The line work is pretty clean. They did paint the wrist wraps on the wrists. However, they didn't paint the straps in the hands, so that's a little bit annoying. The belt is painted pretty well. I like that. Yeah, down here where it's clearly painted on the feet, that's pretty good. It looks good. The skin tone's nice. The green is nice. There's no paint on any of those parts, no shading or anything. But it does look really solid. I'm very pleased with that from a paint perspective. Proportioning's not bad. I think maybe the lower legs are a little bit long, but not too bad. The only thing that really stands out to me in terms of weirdness, well, there's two things. One is that the head is really high up away from the shoulders. It's hidden by the cape and this shoulder, or the chest piece, but if you take those two things off, which you can do, the head is clearly way too high up. And what they needed to do was not make the cape as thick as it was and bring the head down to where it should have been, and he would have looked even more cool. Having a big lollipop head, once you notice it, is not a great look. Also, I think the cape would have looked better coming off the top of the armor rather than out from underneath, like coming out from right here. That would have looked really cool. There's that, so the head is too high, / the neck is too long, and then the chest is very round this way rather than being boxy like a chest should be. Nobody's chest is shaped like that when they have muscles. It does not get bigger in the middle and then tuck in the armpits. And that's partly because of the butterfly joint they did, which has got to be one of the least effort butterfly joints I've ever seen. It does not look good. So yeah, there are a few issues, but they're pretty well hidden at least, and you should be able to hide them even better as you pose them. So yeah, I'm thrilled with the way this looks. It looks really good. The cape is a really nice material. It's not the spandex you normally see, because spandex doesn't fray as easily and it's nice to work with. This is not that. This isn't anywhere near as stretchy, and it still looks good even with the holes in it and everything. I like it. It's not wired, but it does look pretty good, and you can bring it around the front if you want to. I don't quite like that look, but if you do, you know, you can do that, or you can do the one side, whatever you want to do. So aesthetically speaking, it's pretty darn good. I'm gonna go, I'll go 9 just because of what is good is really good, but it really should probably be an 8 because of the problems that it does have, but still, strong release. Now, as far as accessories go, you get the 2 open hands, which are pretty good sculpts. I like that. Then you get the 2 fist hands, and they, of course, have their claws as well. And then you get these slash effects. They do look a little bit too much like bubbly water to me, so I don't love that, but I do love that we got these slash effects, and they work pretty darn well. They slide over the claws nicely. So I'm pretty pleased. I do wish they didn't look like water. But yeah, pretty good. So, I don't know really what else we would need. We have open hands and fist hands, and that's kind of all Shredder would use. So I guess maybe a sword would have been cool. Yeah, there should be a sword. Gripping hands and a sword would have been awesome. Green Ranger had a sword. Shredder has used swords. Sword would have been cool. I'll go 7 out of 10. Okay, let's talk about the articulation. With everything on him, and the helmet and everything, let's see what kind of range we get. The head can lean back to look up, so that is pretty good. I like that. They painted the neck silver, so that's a good look. Don't know if it needed to be silver since it wouldn't be armored. He can look down. It's flexible enough, so that's okay. And obviously side to side. Standard Marvel Legends articulation, hinged ball peg. Obviously we have that butterfly joint, which, by the way, you can see the arm peg in there, which is what I was talking about in the Black Panther review. If you nip that on Marvel Legends, you'll get better range. This guy doesn't need it though. The arms go all the way back on that butterfly and all the way forward. So there you can see that peg again. So the butterfly joint works really well. The shoulder itself, just better than horizontal, so that's pretty good. And then of course you're going to get your full rotation where this isn't in the way. The shoulder pad armor itself is a floaty piece that'll rotate with the arm, so that's a really good thing, and that doesn't get in the way at all. Bicep swivel is fine. Double jointed elbow works really well. We do have pinless joints. This is such a better release than like 99% of Marvel Legends. It's pretty sad. Wrists have a swivel and a hinge. Diaphragm joint on this guy, not great. It's there, it's okay, but it's not particularly useful. It's alright. Ab crunch doesn't really go back all that far. It goes forward alright, so it's okay. They overcomplicate things. This whole setup, just don't do it. Ball peg, or ball peg, double ball peg. That's all you need. The ab crunch combo, not good. This doesn't move much. It moves a little bit, so it'll get out of the way some as you pose him, but it's not great because this one does end up blocking this leg to some degree. So we'll start with this side. Well, I guess we can just do them both. Not quite splits, but that's pretty good range. I'll take it. This leg can go up, not quite to horizontal, so they didn't put enough effort into designing that. And this leg, yeah, it can do it too. The belt moves, so that's all right. They don't go back at all. Thigh swivel is fine. Double jointed knees, again, pinless. If you care about that, they work pretty well. And as you can see, we're a lot closer to on point with the proportions. You want this chunk and this chunk to be the same length. So foot and shin should match the thigh, and it's pretty close, so I will take that. You do get a boot swivel under that armor, so that's cool. Ankles have decent range. They go all the way back with a little bit of force. Pretty far forward with a little bit of force also, and the ankle rocker is okay, though the ratcheting is too strong in there. It's almost like a McFarlane joint, so it's a little annoying. But ultimately, his articulation is solid. It is really good enough for sure, and better than most Marvel Legends. Could be a little bit better still. I'll give the articulation a 8. I'll give it an 8. That's pretty good. That is not bad at all. So now it's time for the final verdict. This is a strong release. Throw a little bit of extra paint on there and it's really good. And if you felt inclined enough to shorten that neck a little bit, you'd make it look awesome. You'd have to do some finagling with the cape since there's a lot of material in there, but it's pretty good. Now there's one last thing I'll talk about before I do the final rating, and that is Hasbro did the same thing they do with capes on Marvel Legends, is that there's a peg on the armor here that pegs it into the back. And when you actually peg it into the back, if I can even find the hole, when you peg it in, it sits horribly. It doesn't look good. Don't do that. Just unpeg it and let the peg rest against his back so that the armor sits forward, like you saw for the whole review, and it sits flush on his chest. And it looks so much better. Don't peg that in. You don't need it. It's not good. Okay, alright, so now it's time for the final verdict. I'm going to give it an overall rating of 9 out of 10. I like it a bunch. I think overall, it's a really good release. Yeah, there are things they could fix, the weird chest, weird butterfly joint, long neck, things like that. Unpainted hand straps. It sounds like a lot, but there's so much good going on here. It overrides the bad. So I think for 35 bucks, this is perfectly reasonable. I'm very happy with it, and I think you guys will be too. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, a thumbs down is okay too. And if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos almost every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. In the meantime, keep collecting.